So this week it was pay it forward. I helped some people move into a new apartment. Gave a man walking down the sidewalk a ride because he got caught in the middle of a rainstorm. Drove 35 miles to take a friend to lunch. Surprised him and paid for his lunch. Did some things around the house like switching a dryer door to make my wife's life a little easier, helped with some laundry, did some extra cooking and cleaning, and cleaned my son's windshield on his car. The strangers, the people that I didn't know, were a little resistant to help at first. I don't know, we were in a different neighborhood. A friend of mine and I were walking through a neighborhood where he owned some rental property, and we saw some people moving in and offered to help them carry their boxes upstairs as they moved in. And first, no, they didn't want any help, and then we were a little insistent, and so then they accepted our help. And afterwards, we stood around and talked and introduced ourselves and got to know their names, and I think some barriers came down. We learned we weren't so different after all, even though perhaps we were from different ethnic groups. The man walking in the rain was sure he wasn't going to get all that wet, but I insisted, and I gave him a ride about 2 blocks to his house. Learned that in the last year he'd lost his wife, and that his sister attended our church. And so we had an instant connection, and I made a new friend. The other things, taking my friend to lunch and doing those things for my family, those are things I should be doing anyway and quite often do. And I always considered myself a fairly generous person, except when it came to my time. What I learned during this activity is that paying it forward really doesn't take a lot of money. I can give my money away. But what I learned God was asking me to give away was my time. And to be sensitive, to be interruptible, and to allow Him to use my time. And I learned that everyone is carrying some kind of struggle. We're all the same in that regard. And a little kindness goes a long way to lighten the load. It wasn't just boxes we carried, but we lightened the load of a single mom moving into an apartment with 2 teenage daughters. We lightened her load considerably. And so that's what I learned, and thanks for the assignment this week.